Hello everybody, welcome to a new episode of Full Force, where of course I draft the newest set and force an archetype. I figured that I should make that a little more clear because I've been having a lot of people coming in and looking at the series and going, why is he taking these cards? This doesn't make any sense. And I think these are just kind of fun stipulation drafts that I'm doing, and I'm just going to enjoy myself. And also, I think that we learn a little bit by doing some crazier things. And whoa, hello, it just crashed. Well, as I was saying, Full Force is an episode where I force a certain archetype, and I think that we learn some things along the way by forcing particular archetypes. You actually do learn some things, even though it's not necessarily the proper way to draft. I would have taken Shapers of Nature because our episode this week is all about blue-green merfolk, but instead, because Magic Online crashed, we took Spell Swindle, which honestly probably goes in the same deck as well, and is not a terrible card or anything. It's a nice card to actually check out. In a way, this is almost good. The reason being that a lot of what we can learn from an episode of Full Force or a show like this is by figuring out if cards that aren't traditionally good or considered good can be used in a positive way, and if maybe our preconceptions are not always correct. And it's good to test those things and check them out. A lot of times we find that, yes, this card is too expensive as a counterspell, and you probably don't want it in limited because there's not going to be powerful enough stuff to bother countering. But occasionally, we found out that we're wrong, and we actually have a bomb on our hands. And it's hard to know, so always good to test it a little bit, and I'm here to do that for you, so you don't have to waste your money. I'll waste mine. We have Thematic Compass here, so that's an interesting card. If we control 7 or more, we can eventually make ourselves a Maze of Ith. That seems pretty good if we're already taking Spell Swindle. I think that normally with the blue-green Merfolk deck, what we're trying to do is be very aggressive and tempo-based, so this is an odd spot to be at. There's no Merfolk that are great here. Dive Down's pretty good as just a way to avoid removal, but I'm going to try the Thematic Compass, and we'll see what happens if we go a little bit of a slower blue-green Merfolk route. Now we've got another Spell Swindle. Not super excited about that. There's a Shipwreck Looter, which is nice. I think that this works really well with the tempo strategy because generally you're going to be attacking, trying to get raid, and you want to throw away a lot of your high-end your lands because you're not going to have a lot of high-end cards. Sorry. So you don't need to have a bunch of extras. Take Crash the Ramparts because decent combat trick. Crushing Canopy, think is pretty good. There's a lot of things like One with the Wind and Mark of the Vampire running around that you have to answer. Flying's quite important. I would probably main deck the first copy almost every time. Could take the New Horizons. There's a lot of different choices here. I really don't think I want 2 Spell Swindles. Daggertooth's okay. I'm gonna take... Oh, this is a tough one. I'm going to take the Shipwreck Looter. Well, no, I'm going to take Daggertooth. I'm going to take Daggertooth. I think that I want the 3-drop. I think that I want the 3 power a little bit more. It's really close. It's hard to say. There's some good cards here, but not for us. Things like Bishop of the Bloodstained is really good in a black-white vampires list. Really hard to use anywhere else. Mark of the Vampire can be quite nice. Things like Hijack are very narrow role players. But Sure Strike is a very good combat trick, and Territorial Hammerskull is absolutely fantastic. This is easily the best card in the pack. I'm going to take Crash the Ramparts. It does look like blue's being cut, so I might want to try and take a lot of green cards here, and then see if I can wheel the blue cards next pack. So basically somebody else will cut Merfolk for me, and then I'll try and capitalize on the signals that they send. I'm going to take Ixalan's Keeper. I need some 2-drops. It's not terrible as one. I'm definitely not going to need a Spell Pierce. Lookout's Dispersal is just not wonderful. We're not going to have a lot of pirates, so I'm just going to take the Keeper. Cancel is reasonable, I suppose. Alright, I'll just take Cancel. And now Blossom Dryad, Ixalan's Keeper, Prosperous Pirates. Marauding Looter is insane. This card should almost certainly not be here. I could take it on a splash. There's a lot of reason to splash when you've got a little bit of green in this format. Things like New Horizons and New Horizons plus Blossom Dryad is a really cool little combo. I think, this is tough. I like Prosperous Pirates quite a bit. It's really easy to splash because of all the treasures. I think I might just take the Marauding Looter since it's an uncommon. That'll let us splash, and it's just too good. Colossal Dreadmaw, Ixalan's Keeper. I think I'm going to take the Keeper. I just want the earlier play here. And now Ixalan's Diviner. Certainly not terrible. I like the Explore synergies. Now we've got enough 2-drops for sure, so I can start taking some of the late game. Cobbled Wings is okay, just as a way to get flyers. Flyers being very important in the format, I think. Well, there you have it, folks. We wheeled our first pick. We got it back. I'm really sad that we passed the Shapers of Nature, because I think that might be one of the reasons why we're getting cut so hard. But I'll take the Spell Swindle, and we can basically see if Spell Swindle's good. A little bit of a different full force. But honestly, this is kind of more interesting to me. I think that Blue-Green Merfolk is fairly obviously quite good, and Spell Swindle is generally pretty obviously quite bad, so I like the idea of testing that out and seeing what we can do with it. We've got a treasure map here. That's pretty solid. Lets us splash the Marauding Looter, and of course with Spell Swindle it's pretty nice, so I could take the treasure map and go really deep on that. Water Trap Weaver is there for the Merfolk strategy. Deadeye Plunderers is a different splash over Marauding Looter. Works with the Spell Swindles. I'm really thinking that I want this treasure map. I like the idea. Alright, I'm going to slam the map. And now we have Glacial Fortress, Depths of Desire, which I do like. Good little tempo card, and nice for Marauding Looter as the way to splash it. Stormfleet Pyromancer is pretty decent, but I'm going to take the Depths here first. We want to have more ways to actually be able to splash this before we start taking it. There's River Herald's Boon, which is a fantastic card if we can get enough Merfolk. So I'm going to take it, and hopefully we can find a couple more. I can't imagine that we don't see any. And we have things like Shapers of Nature. We really want to be able to get the +1/+1 counter synergies going, too. Blinding Fog, Call to the Feast. Man, there's just so many black-white cards. And no green and no blue. This might be a really good way of, looking at the format and seeing just how open strategies are and how much people want to draft them, because this is cut. This is cut so hard, it is incredible. Could take the Fire Cannon Blast. There's some really good cards. Glorifier of Dusk, Call to the Feast, Inspiring Cleric. Fire Cannon Blast is great. Skymarch Bloodletter is awesome. So there's a ton of really good cards here, but not in our colors. I mean, Fire Cannon Blast, I'm taking it simply because of the fact that we might be able to splash double red if we're already playing Marauding Looter, but it's interesting. Pay 2 life and draw a card. Not going to be able to take that. Chart a Course is interesting. I think that Chart a Course is quite decent if we had the right deck for it. This deck does not have enough tempo, I don't think. Trove of Temptation could be good because we can force them to attack into our creatures, but we have 6 creatures right now. We're going to need a lot more stalling first. I'm going to take the Trove anyways, just because Chart a Course currently seems so bad with what we do have. And the treasures are really, really nice as well. We've got some stuff that works with it. Treasure map, and I just kind of want to go off with that. Instants and sorceries are doubled. Deep Root Waters. So whenever we cast a Merfolk, we can create a 1/1 blue Merfolk creature token with hexproof, which is pretty cool if you have enough Merfolk. Unfortunately, we do not. So I'm going to take Depths of Desire here over the Prosperous Pirates. I don't think I can do that. I like both of these. They're both pretty decent. I generally would side on the slightly cheaper card, but because of the fact that we have, as of yet, 6 creatures, I'm going to take the Prosperous Pirates. And I'm glad we did, because now we have Depths of Desire. Dowsing Dagger is okay. And by okay, I mean quite good. The thing is with Dowsing Dagger that I missed the first time that I saw it was that when you hit an opponent, you don't have to transform the dagger into the Lost Veil. Lost Veil is probably not super useful after you've already paid 4 to equip dagger and you're beating in with a creature. But actually having it as a +2/+1 equipment is quite solid. So I could just take the dowsing. Another depth does seem pretty decent. There's also this brazen buccaneers. I'm going to take the dowsing dagger, though. We've got pretty much a ton of rare artifacts and no creatures to use with them. There's a commune with dinosaurs, and unknown shores for splashing, which I don't think we need. We have enough treasure. Dusk Legion Dreadnought. This is going to be a very, very challenging episode of Full Force because this has been extremely cut. I'm going to take the commune. We do have the possibility of getting some more dinosaurs. We already have the Ragnus Daggertooth, and I mean, it does reveal land. Crash the ramparts. Sure. Not so sure that I want 2 of them, but okay. Wow. Stormfleet Pyromancer's still here. Blue-red does look pretty open. Tilonali's Knight. Honestly, at this point, if we weren't doing a full force, I should probably switch to blue-red. I would have switched to blue-red a while back, actually. But we're up for the challenge, and I will not back down. I will take every merfolk that we see. No more not taking water trap weavers. We got a River Herald's boon. I got to use this. So we're going to slam as many as we can find, which hopefully is a couple, because right now we have 1. Well, I guess that I swindled my chat. Old Growth Dryads. Not a merfolk. However, Water Trap Weaver is. And Water Trap Weaver is quite a good card, so I'm pretty happy taking it here. Other options would be Perilous Voyage, which is quite nice. And Pirate's Prize is fine, I guess. Water Trap Weaver is probably the pick I would want to take anyways. Maybe the Perilous Voyage if I didn't have such a shortage of creatures, but Water Traps is kind of great. And Siren Storm Tamer. Honestly, Siren Storm Tamer is a lot better than it looks, just because of the simple fact that if you have Pirate's Cutlass or things like Dowsing Dagger, then you can just keep getting in there, and it protects your other bigger threats, which is not nothing. Card's hardly insane or anything, but it can be decent. I'm going to take the New Horizons here, however. We want to splash all ththese red cards, and it puts +1/+1 counters, which is something we can use with the Shapers of Nature. Just does a lot of good things for us. So I think that's where we want to go. No Merfolk. We have a Pillar of Origins, but we do not really have a clear creature type, despite trying to force Merfolk. Mauvrin Fane, Dusk Apostle, is pretty good, but I am not at all in that archetype. I could take the Stormfleet Arsonist, or I could take another Ixalan's Keeper. I'm thinking that the Arsonist is where I need to go at this point. It's got to take some creatures, even if they're off-color. Sailor of Means lets us play another off-color card. And also, it's just kind of nice to ramp up to. We've got a lot of slower cards with things like Spell Swindles, so it's probably a good idea to just have a nice blocker. Lightning Rig Crew certainly falls into that as well. The big problem that I have with that is if we have enough ways to actually fix our mana base and get the Lightning Rig Crew out. And that's the issue. I'm not sure that we do. I just have to take Lightning Rig. Alright, I think that it's Lightning Rig time. Deadeye Quartermaster. Headwater Sentries. That is another Merfolk. I'm going to take it. You know... I lied about blue-green merfolk. We're doing this now. Okay, every once in a while, I try not to do full forces that are about specific rares because of the simple fact that it's really, really hard to actually get a rare consistently, so it's hard to make a video around it. But when you get a chance to Revel, thank you, Revel. We had the chance to get another one, too. I wish I'd grabbed that. Arcane Adaptation. The thing's pretty bad, right? Yes. So it makes all things merfolk or all things pirates or whatever you need. Siren Lookout Explores, which does work with our Shapers of Nature. River Herald's Boon is not good enough for us. We just do not have enough Merfolk at this point. Siren Lookout does seem pretty decent, though. Colossal Dreadmaw could be fine. I wouldn't mind some top end like that. I just like the +1/+1 counter is the big thing. I think I go with the Lookout. Shadowed Caravel. Cool card if you had enough Explorer. I don't think it's actually usable. It's another one of those rares that if I had the chance where it was first pack or similar, I'd probably just jam it and run that instead of my normal kind of deck for full force. Don't think we're milling people. Spike-tailed Ceratops. Does block forever. Might not be a bad idea to grab it. Dual shot can kill 2 things. It's a decent enough combat trick occasionally if you're really desperate. I'm going to take the Spike-tail, though. We just need the creatures. Now we have a Shorekeeper. If we're trying to go really, really late, and we're trying to get Revel in Riches, maybe I want this. I actually think I do. I'm going to take Shorekeeper. And a Pirate's Prize. There we are. A little bit of fixing, and of course, some extra treasure. And what else do we have now? Ancient Brontodons, Queen's Agent. This is a deck that could probably run a Brontodon, honestly. Sure. I don't think I'm going to play it, but I'll take it. There's nothing else that I really need. Hey, Headwater Sentries came back. Look at that. Even got what I needed. I think that Headwater Sentries is a card that I'll probably play in this deck as well, just because it does block pretty well. And this is a deck that's slow. It wants to be blocking. Put it that way. Crash the Ramparts is almost certainly coming out. It's a decent combat trick, but our deck does not want aggressive combat tricks. Doesn't have enough creatures, and it doesn't have enough real reason to be doing battle in that way. Marauding Looter is excellent for a way to dig down to Revel in Riches, so I do like that. I like the flyer with it because of that as well, the Siren Lookout, so that we can enable raid over and over. I'm going to take out the Spike-tail. I'm going to take out the Arsonist. Leaves us with 14 creatures. Definitely take out the Ancient Brontodon. It's fun to think about, probably bad to run. I need to cut 2 more cards, and they should probably not be creatures. Definitely take out a Cancel, if we're going to look at that then. Maybe the Dowsing Dagger? Probably the Dowsing Dagger. I just don't have enough creatures to really put it on. I don't have enough creatures that have evasion, that's for sure. And it's only medium. It's fine, but it's certainly not amazing. Now, do we need 1 more card, or do we run 16 lands because this deck has a lot of treasure? Trove, Pirate's Prize, Prosperous, Spell Swindle, Depths of Desire, Treasure Map. Although Treasure Map does take quite a while to get those treasures. I should honestly just cut River Herald's Boon. I like the idea of the +1/+1 counter, but I'm never going to get the full value out of it with 3. Well, actually, it does have 3 Merfolk. I'm 3 times as likely to draw Merfolk as I am to draw River Herald's Boon. Is that enough? It's not super awful if it's just a +1/+1 counter. That can swing some combat situations, and then of course keeping a counter on something is awesome. And then of course it also works with Shapers of Nature later, which is very, very good. Definitely a tough one. Maybe the New Horizons just needs to come out. It does fix. I don't need to ramp that much, though. Our curve ending at 5, even a bunch of 5s, is pretty weird and awkward with this deck. Trove of Temptation is kind of strange there, too. I mean, I don't know that we want to encourage people to attack us. This deck, by the way, is I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say it's a solid 3 out of 10. I'm probably overestimating. Merfolk was not open. Sometimes when you do a full force challenge draft, you end up in trouble. Boon out, save the deck. Let's go. Am I a madman? Do I run no swamps whatsoever? Do we have enough treasure to get there? I think that with Treasure Trove, New Horizons, Double Spell Swindle, Pirate's Prize, and Depths of Desire, I think we do. Is that crazy that we just don't have it? All right. And I like having a fair bit of red, but I'm going to go on the side of having more green because all of our green is early game. We need activations of Shapers of Nature, and we can explore with things like Ixalan's Diviner, which really helps us fix. New Horizon helps us fix for red. Just seems like a really good idea to have a little extra green. I'm even going to go enough where I go like that, and then we're going to save the deck and fire off round 1.